Water Forum atau Forum Air Dunia yang ke-10 yang merupakan pertemuan internasional terbesar yang akan membahas isu-isu secara global bersama dengan para pemangku kepentingan di dunia, tentunya sebagai bagian dari pembangunan berkelanjutan atau SDGs ke-6 air dan sanitasi bersih. Dan tentunya World Water Forum ini yang ke-10 digelar di Bali, Indonesia sebagai tuan rumah dengan akan melakukan pembahasan dengan berbagai sektor bidang, pemerintah, parlemen, sektor swasta maupun masyarakat sipil, dan akan membahas terkait dengan pengelolaan air. Setelah sebelumnya semalam 19 Mei 2024 dibuka dengan jamuan makan malam oleh Presiden Republik Indonesia, dan pagi ini pemirsa kita akan melihat opening ceremony atau upacara pembukaan langsung dari Bali. Dan berikut kita akan melihat bagaimana rangkaian acara World Water Forum ke-10 atau Forum Air Sedunia, di mana nantinya akan membahas berbagai macam isu terkait dengan pengelolaan air dan juga terkait dengan sanitasi bersih. Dan forum yang diadakan 3 tahun sekali ini untuk mempertemukan pengambil kebijakan, pemerintah, kemudian pemimpin bisnis, lembaga swadaya masyarakat atau LSM, lembaga donor, organisasi internasional untuk saling berdialog dan saling bertukar pandangan mengenai pengetahuan tentang isu-isu air global terkini. Oke, dan kita saksikan World Water Forum ke-10. Nirlaba yang dibentuk pada tahun 1996 dan berpusat di Marseille, Prancis. World Water Forum ini menjadi wadah pertemuan peserta dari semua tingkatan dan bidang terkait air, mulai dari politisi, lembaga, akademisi, masyarakat sipil, dan sektor swasta. Dan World Water Forum ini diselenggarakan setiap 3 tahun sekali. Dan pada gelaran ke-10 ini juga akan ada Forum Parlemen Sedunia yang mengadakan sesi pertemuan antar parlemen tentang air yang kita sebut dengan parliamentary process, di mana ada 36 delegasi parlemen dari berbagai perwakilan organisasi regional maupun internasional negara, serta sejumlah rangkaian yang telah dilaksanakan. Setelah sebelumnya semalam dibuka dengan jamuan makan malam oleh Presiden Republik Indonesia, kemudian saat ini kita akan menantikan dimulainya upacara pembukaan atau opening ceremony dari 10 World Water Forum atau Forum Air Dunia ke-10 di Bali. Dan Indonesia menjamu para pemimpin dan delegasi World Water Forum ke-10 pada gelaran welcoming dinner semalam di GWK, tepatnya di Taman Budaya Garuda. Dengan ada parade budaya khas Indonesia, dari mulai pakaian yang dikenakan oleh kepala negara dan para tamu undangan, penampilan seni musik, tari, serta menu makan malam. Dan dalam World Water Forum ini, saudara, air disimbolkan sebagai perubahan, ketenangan, kekuatan, dan sumber kehidupan. Dan makna ini tergambar dalam narasi konfigurasi tari tradisi kontemporer, modern, dan akrobat kolosal yang berpadu dengan visual pada tebing dan lantai yang ditampilkan pada jamuan makan malam semalam. Dan sebagai tuan rumah penyelenggara, tentunya tarian khas Bali ditampilkan sebagai pembuka. Tarian Sumbawa khas Nusa Tenggara Barat dan Melayu menambah kental suasana Nusantara pada jamuan makan malam semalam. Dan digelarnya World Water Forum ke-10 pada 18 hingga 25 Mei 2024 mendatang tentunya akan memberikan banyak rekomendasi dan kebijakan terkait dengan air dan sanitasi yang layak.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
Dan kita lihat semua delegasi sudah hadir dan sesaat lagi akan segera dimulai pembukaan Forum Air Dunia ke-10.
Please be seated. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening ceremony of the 10th World Water Forum 2024. Let us immerse ourselves in the harmonious display of music and dance, a reflection of Mother Nature's message, an embodiment of resilience, paving the way towards shared prosperity for all.
Indonesia, a maritime country. Dive into the depths of our aquatic wonders, where livelihoods intertwine with the rhythm and harmony.
Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoy an incredible performance by Indonesia's brightest talents, the harmonious collaborations of Purwacaraka's Orchestra and Choir, Udayana University Marching Band, and the captivating dance performances truly epitomize the unity of music, art, and culture. We are also lucky to have the talented young singers Shana Shannon and Raffi Sudirman, who inspire our youth, reminding us of the importance of preserving art as well as safeguarding our water resources for all generations to come. Now, we are honored to have a prominent speaker among us this morning. Kindly invite the remarks from Mr. Elon Musk.
Well, I must say I'm very impressed with this. This meeting room is amazing. I feel like I'm in a waterfall. It's really lovely here, and that was incredible, incredible performance. So I must say I'm quite delighted to be here this morning talking to you and to experience this wonderful event and everything that Indonesia has to offer. It's amazing being here in Bali in Indonesia. So, and hopefully everyone saw the mangrove forests. Because those are very impressive. It's several 100,000 acres of mangroves that I think have been replanted, if I recall correctly. So there are a lot of great things happening in Indonesia and the rest of the world. And overall, I would say I'm quite sort of optimistic for the future. I think we should never be complacent or entitled, but I do think that if we're not complacent and entitled, that the future will actually be great for the world. And I think we're headed to a bright future overall. And with respect to water, I've always thought, we call Earth Earth, but actually Earth is 70% water by surface area. So we should technically, I think if aliens came here, and a lot of people think aliens have come here, because they're always asking me about aliens. They would name us water, because we are 70% water and only 30% land. So what that means is the potential for solving any given water issue is extremely good because there is so much water. There's obviously desalination required at times, and the transport of water, but desalination, as I think most people know, has become very inexpensive, and so really the availability of fresh water is simply about energy and transport. So that's when I talk to even very well-read, very smart people in the United States, they will often think, well, the water crisis is unsolvable, but in fact it is very solvable. And there are continuing breakthroughs in the efficiency of desalination. And anyway, I think we've got a great water future ahead of us, and I think a great sustainable energy future ahead of us. Yes. So anyway, hopefully that is. I'm kicking things off on a positive note, but I think with good basis for doing so. Yeah. With that, I think the next section is really just some questions or Q&A. If anyone would like to ask me anything about anything, I suppose we should generally stick to the topic of water, given that it's the water conference. But I'm happy to answer other questions as well. I'm not quite sure how the logistics of question posing works, but you just say a question. Sure. If I heard correctly, what is the most important thing for solving the water crisis? Okay. Well, the exact solution will vary depending upon country and even region within a country. But as I mentioned, because the cost of desalination has dropped so much, if you're just talking about water for individual consumption or water in, say, a hydroponics facility, some kind of, where you're not simply putting it on the ground for crops, but actually have some sort of contained facility that minimizes the amount of evaporation, I think you can basically turn any part of the world green, including the entire world. So it just begs the question of where does the energy come from? And here's where I think solar energy is very much underestimated in terms of its capability. So if you think about what would the Earth be without the sun, the Earth would be a frozen dark ice ball at roughly 3 degrees above absolute zero. It would be quite unpleasant. So, very cold and dark. But because of the sun, we're at quite a nice temperature, quite pleasant, sort of roughly 300 degrees above absolute zero. And the sun powers almost the entire ecosystem is solar powered. When you say well, how much land would it take to generate electricity? There's a gigawatt per square kilometer of solar radiation that reaches the surface. So for every square kilometer, there's a peak power of roughly a gigawatt, which is comparable to a power station. Now, the sun doesn't shine all the time, obviously. So when you net all of that out and say, well, how much energy per day does 1 square kilometer yield? It's roughly 1 gigawatt hour per square kilometer per day, which is still a lot. So, and if you do the rough math to power the United States, which is a heavy user of electricity, would take less than a 200 kilometer by 200 kilometer solar array, power the entire United States. And if you drive through the United States, there's plenty of sections of the United States where there is basically no people. Or another way to think of it is a small section of the Sahara could power all of Europe, or the world. Now, I'm not saying you would be so concentrated in the placement of solar power, because it's better to be more distributed. But the sheer magnitude of solar power that is available is often not quite understood. But the math of it is very clear. So I really would strongly recommend sort of a solar plus battery combination, or wind plus solar, can solve all of the world's energy needs by a lot.
Developing countries needs also R&D to reduce the price of desalination or desalinated cubic meter of water by 90%, like what happened with the BP. Who is going to support the R&D in this era? Not the developing countries, of course. How we are going to support the researchers?
Yeah, so something that I would encourage everyone in the room to look at is, and you touched on that briefly, is that the cost of solar power has dropped dramatically over the years. So if you were to say, look at the cost of solar power 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, it would have seemed cost prohibitive. But the cost of solar power today is extremely low. And the cost of batteries to store the energy has also dropped dramatically. The cost of battery storage of electricity has dropped by a factor of 10 in the past 5 years. So many of the studies that were done in times past when batteries were very expensive and solar power was very expensive. And I would just encourage everyone to basically take another look at the cost of solar and the cost of batteries, and I think you'll find that you're pleasantly surprised. All right, time to wrap it up. Yes, okay, thank you. Well, it's an honor to be here, and thank you very much for listening to my words, and I hope you have a fantastic conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elon Musk. Please return to respective seat. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here at the opening ceremony of the 10th World Water Forum 2024, let us honor the memory of His Majesty, the late King Hassan II, and for his strategic vision for his country's sustainable integrated water resources management in addressing the kingdom's water security. Attributed to an individual or a group of natural or legal person, whether public or private, and integrated to reward actions that promote the protections and preservations of water resources, improvement in their management, reuse of wastewater, as well as raising awareness among the populations about water issues. This is the King Hassan II Great World Water Prize.
Morocco, a hospitable and welcoming country that dates back thousands of years, has seen inclusive development recently in many sectors, including modern infrastructure, new urban mobilities, connecting territories, renewable energies, hosting major sportive events, and much more. To accompany the socio-economic development of the country, Morocco has adopted a dynamic, anticipatory, and sustainable water policy, which considers several challenges, in particular climate change.
واجب المسؤولية يتطلب اليوم اعتماد اختيارات مستدامة ومتكاملة والتحلي بروح التضامن والفعالية في إطار المخطط الوطني الجديد للماء الذي ندعو إلى التعجيل بتفعيله. ونريد التركيز هنا على بعض التوجهات الرئيسية: ضرورة إطلاق برامج ومبادرات أكثر طموحا واستثمار الابتكارات والتكنولوجيات الحديثة في مجال اقتصاد الماء وإعادة استخدام المياه العادمة.
Thanks to the water-wise policy of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, a continuation of the visionary water policy initiated by the late His Majesty King Hassan II, the Kingdom of Morocco has an important hydraulic infrastructure and internationally recognized expertise. This infrastructure has guaranteed the availability and accessibility of water, which contributed to the socio-economic development of the country and the prosperity of its people. The country currently has 154 large dams, with a total capacity of nearly 20 billion cubic meters, with 17 under construction. The Water Highway of Morocco, a major achievement, is considered as a model of interbasin solidarity. The first urgent section, connecting the Sebou and Boura Greg basins over 67 kilometers, was completed in record time with Moroccan expertise. It is part of the major project of water transfer to Al Masira Dam. Moreover, Morocco is diversifying its sources of water supply in order to meet its needs for drinking water, irrigation, and industrial purposes, particularly through the mobilization of non-conventional water resources. 15 seawater desalination plants have been built with a capacity of 192 million cubic meters per year, including those in Agadir, Safi, and Jof-Lasfar. Other plants will be built, including in Dakhla and Casablanca. The goal is to reach a production capacity of 1.7 billion cubic meters by 2030, using renewable energy and taking into account the water-energy-food nexus. The treated wastewater reuse is also increasing significantly for the watering of green spaces and golf courses. By 2027, the current volume of treated wastewater reused will triple. Morocco also works on water demand management and its economy through improving the efficiency of drinking water and irrigation distribution networks, as well as promoting water efficiency. Concrete actions combined with an unprecedented drive to raise awareness are leading to encourage citizens to change their behavior and adopt responsible consumption practices. Morocco continues to reiterate its commitment to this cause at international level, an engagement illustrated particularly through the Hassan II World Water Prize, an initiative led since 2002 jointly by the Kingdom of Morocco and the World Water Council. In its 8th edition, this prestigious prize of $500,000 rewards actions and innovations in favor of water security for food sovereignty and shared prosperity.
We kindly invite the head of government of the Kingdom of Morocco, His Excellency Mr. Aziz Al Khanouch, to convey his remarks.
Merci. Je vais vous laisser le temps de prendre le masque parce que je vais parler en français. Merci. Je voudrais tout d'abord remercier Monsieur le Président, le gouvernement et le peuple indonésien de l'accueil chaleureux qui nous a été réservé et vous féliciter pour la réussite de ce grand événement. Nous sommes présents ici, je représente le Royaume du Maroc, pour vous présenter le prix Hassan II, un prix lié à la personnalité du feu, le roi Hassan II, qui a fait énormément pour la politique de l'eau et le développement durable de l'eau à travers la construction de barrages et de réseaux d'irrigation. Mais également, c'est l'occasion de rendre aussi hommage à Sa Majesté le roi Mohammed VI, qui a engagé un programme ambitieux de l'ordre de 14 milliards de dollars pour la durabilité de l'eau, continuer à construire les barrages d'eau, le transfert d'eau de bassin à bassin, mais également plusieurs unités de dessalement dans les grandes villes comme Casablanca, comme Agadir, comme Tanger, qui verront le développement de ce réseau non conventionnel. Le prix Hassan II donc, est un hommage à ces grandes personnalités. Nous l'avons eu beaucoup de candidats cette année, plus de 80 candidats, sont tous très bons. Le choix a été fait pour une organisation internationale qui a le souci de l'utilisation de l'eau, qui a également la responsabilité de s'occuper pour nourrir le monde. Donc c'est le vainqueur, c'est la FAO, et je demande aux représentants de la FAO de se présenter.
Excellency, can you remain on the stage? Now we would like to invite the President of the World Water Council, Mr. Louis Fachon, and the Minister of Equipment and Water of the Kingdom of Morocco, His Excellency Mr. Nizar Baraka. Also, the King Hassan II awardee to come on the stage. Let us count down for the photo stations in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Mr. Louis Fachon, kindly remain on stage to convey the remarks. And thank you for His Excellency Mr. Aziz Akhanush and His Excellency Mr. Nizar Baraka, also the King Hassan II awardee. Please return to respective seats.
Good evening, good morning, everybody. It's difficult to speak after Elon Musk. Thank you, Elon, to pay attention to water. We need your involvement. And you know that you are paying attention for years and years in constructions of water in your factories. You are saving a lot of water. Thank you for that, and thank you for the future.
Thank you, Mr. Louis Fachon. Please return to respective seats.
No, I'm sorry. Other issues to discuss. I'd like to thank Mr. President and the government of Indonesia. You remember, Mr. President, during the G20, I asked you to be a water messenger, and you have been the water messenger. And I would like to thank you again and again. But be the better and the best messengers today is not enough. We need to do more if we want to spare and save water for peace and prosperity. And so now we need to be fighters. And more than fighters, we need to be water warriors. All together, water warriors. And I'd just like to say that today I would like to cry and to shout this obligation to respect nature and to provide water for men. And so, just very shortly, 7 commitments. We, World Water Warriors, want to promote water security policies worldwide in all levels of responsibility. We, World Water Warriors, we want to convince that water sobriety needs the modification of our behavior and change our habits. We, World Water Warriors, we want to upscale the design and application of nature-based solutions at basin level first. We, World Water Warriors, we want to call on all countries to write the right to water in their national constitutions, laws and local regulations to propose that step by step the right to access to water becomes enforceable to all. We, World Water Warriors, we want to invite you to join a Money for Water coalition to be presented at the next United Nations Conference, which includes sub-sovereignty and cancellation of the debt of water for the poorest countries in the world. We, World Water Warriors, we want to ensure that a high proportion of the various climate funds is naturally devoted to water and without forgetting wastewater. We, World Water Warriors, we want to call for international action to ensure more active, decentralized governance based on multilateral cooperation, as we are doing in this forum, which is also essential for strengthening the rails of mediation for rivers, for lakes, and for basins. A real, true hydro-diplomacy bringing peace to the banks rather than war to the rivers. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say to the people in this room and elsewhere in the world, we need you. We want new ideas. We want new debates to write together the future of water. So, with us, be the first World Water Warriors, get involved, and especially you, the youngest in this room and elsewhere, take the hand we are holding out to you. And again, Mr. President, thank you so much for your hospitality, but not only, for this wonderful preparation, for the real diplomatic victory which is crossing this forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Louis-Fauchon. Please return to your respected seats. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let us also take this special moment to represent you. Water for shared prosperity.
In a world plagued by the relentless grip of climate change, every living being is feeling the heat.
Climate change.
Climate change.
Climate change.
Species are vanishing, ecosystems collapsing. The balance of life is under threat. Without immediate action, in no time at all, we will lose access to clean water on this planet. The time for change is now. At this year's 10th World Water Forum, driven by the vision of water for shared prosperity, we will embark on more tangible actions through comprehensive stages to seek real solutions.
Indonesia terus berkontribusi dalam penanganan perubahan iklim.
Indonesia has undertaken serious actions in water management. Our approach balances soft and hard actions. Soft actions, rooted in nature, encompass mangrove replanting, forest preservation, sustainable energy, and lake restoration. These initiatives foster water conservation and strengthen ecosystems' resilience. Hard actions involve infrastructure, optimizing irrigation data, constructing dams for hydroelectricity, implementing flood control, and installing large-scale solar floating panels. These efforts enhance water efficiency and harness renewable energy. Additionally, the development of food estates aims to ensure food security while utilizing water resources efficiently. Indonesia recognizes the importance of water management in the tourism sector. From pristine beaches to lush rainforests, water plays a crucial role in attracting visitors to our diverse landscape. Therefore, sustainable water management practices are essential to preserve these natural treasures and maintain the allure of Indonesia's tourism industry. All these efforts are deeply rooted in Indonesia's traditions, especially here in Bali, where water is considered sacred and cherished since ancient times. Preserving water has been a practice passed down through generations. Now is the time for all of us, the global community, to come together at the 10th World Water Forum. Let's unite now and grasp this opportunity to discover concrete solutions for these crises and create a future where water security is secured for everyone.
We will now proceed with the presentations of Water for Shared Prosperity book by the World Bank Regional Vice President for East Asia Pacific. Now we kindly invite the President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, to accept the book. Thank you. The welcoming remarks of the President of the Republic of Indonesia.
Yang mulia, para pemimpin negara,
leaders,
pimpinan organisasi
heads
internasional,
of international organizations,
Presiden,
President
Dewan Air
of the World
Dunia,
Water Council,
Ketua DPR
Speaker
Republik
of
Indonesia,
the Indonesian Parliament,
hadirin dan tamu undangan
distinguished
yang
guests.
saya muliakan. Selamat datang di Bali.
Welcome to Bali.
Suatu
It is
kehormatan
an
bagi
honor
Indonesia,
for Indonesia
dipercaya menjadi tuan
to
rumah
host
forum
the
Air Sedunia yang
10th
ke-10
World Water Forum
untuk
to
meneguhkan komitmen
strengthen the
bersama
commitment of
dan
cooperation
merumuskan
and
aksi
to
nyata
formulate concrete actions
pengelolaan air yang inklusif
on inclusive
dan
and
berkelanjutan.
sustainable water management.
Bisa kita bayangkan
We can imagine
dari 72%
of the 72%
permukaan bumi yang
of the
tertutup
Earth's
air,
surface that is covered in
hanya
water,
1%
only
yang bisa
1%
diakses
is
dan digugunakan
accessible
sebagai
and
air
usable
minum dan
as drinking water
keperluan
and
sanitasi.
for sanitation purposes.
Bahkan di tahun 2050,
In 2050,
500 juta petani
500
kecil sebagai
million small
penyumbang
farmers
80%
as
pangan
contributors
dunia
to
diprediksi paling
80% of the
rentan
global food supply
mengalami
are predicted to become
kekeringan.
most vulnerable to drought.
Tanpa air
Without
tidak
water,
ada makanan,
there will be no food,
tidak ada perdamaian,
there will be no peace,
tidak ada kehidupan,
there will be no life,
no water,
no water,
life,
no
no
life,
growth.
no growth.
Oleh sebab itu,
For this reason,
air harus dikelola
must be
dengan
managed
baik karena
properly
setiap
because
tetesnya sangat
every
berharga.
drop is valuable.
Yang mulia,
Excellencies,
sebagai negara dengan luas
as a country,
perarian yang
having a
mencapai
water area
65%,
reaching
Indonesia
65%,
kaya
Indonesia
kearifan
is
lokal
rich in
dalam
local wisdom
pengelolaan air,
in water
mulai
management,
dari
starting from
sepanjang garis pantai,
all across its coastlines,
pinggiran aliran sungai,
its riverbanks,
sampai tepian
all the way
danau.
to its lake shores.
Masyarakat kami
Our
memiliki
people
nilai budaya terhadap
places
air.
cultural value
Salah
on water.
satunya adalah
An example
sistem
is the
pengairan subak di Bali
irrigation system
yang
in Bali,
dipraktekkan sejak abad ke-11
which has been in use since the 11th century
dan diakui sebagai
and is
warisan
recognized
budaya dunia.
as a world cultural heritage.
Selain itu, bagi masyarakat Bali,
Moreover, for the
air
people
adalah
of Bali,
kemuliaan
water is
yang
sacred,
mengandung nilai-nilai spiritual
embodying
dan
spiritual
budaya
and cultural
yang harus
values
dikelola
that must be
bersama-sama.
managed together.
Hal tersebut
This is
sejalan dengan tema
in
kita
line
tahun
with our
ini, yaitu
theme this year, which
air
is
bagi
water for
kemakmuran bersama,
common
yang bisa
prosperity,
dimaknai
that
menjadi
can be
3
interpreted
prinsip
into 3
dasar,
basic principles,
yaitu
namely
menghindari persaingan,
avoiding competition,
mengedepankan pemerataan dan kerjasama
promoting
inklusif,
equity and inclusive
serta
cooperation,
menyokong
and
perdamaian dan
supporting
kemakmuran
peace
bersama.
and shared
Di
prosperity.
mana ketiganya hanya bisa
These 3
terwujud
principles can
dengan
only
sebuah
be
kata
realized
kunci,
by one
yaitu
keyword,
kolaborasi.
namely collaboration.
Di Indonesia,
In
kolaborasi
Indonesia,
telah menjadi
collaboration
kunci
has been the
keberhasilan
key to the
dalam
success
merestorasi
of
Sungai
restoring
Citarum,
the Citarum River,
serta pengembangan
as well
energi
as the
hijau,
development of green
solar
energy,
panel terapung
the
di Waduk
Cirata
Cirata
floating solar
yang
panel
menjadi terbesar
that has
di
become
Asia
the
Tenggara
largest in Southeast
dan
Asia
ketiga
and
di dunia.
the 3rd largest in the world.
Yang mulia, dengan
Excellencies,
berkumpulnya kita
through
di
our
Bali
gathering today in
hari
Bali,
ini, tentu Indonesia berharap
Indonesia generally hopes
dunia dapat
that
saling
the world
bergandengan tangan
can work hand in
secara
hand
berkesinambungan
sustainably
untuk dapat
in
memperkuat
strengthening
komitmen
our commitment
kolaborasi
for collaboration
dalam mengatasi
in
tantangan
addressing
global terkait air.
global water-related
Let's
challenges.
preserve
Let's
our water
preserve
today
our water today
for shared
for our shared prosperity tomorrow.
And
And
in relation to
in relation to
continuity,
continuity,
in October,
in October,
my term as president
will come to an end.
And on this good occasion, allow me to introduce the President-elect of Indonesia, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, who is currently
serving
as the Minister
of
of
Defense,
who will continue Indonesia's commitment to contribute towards water management.
water management.
Terima kasih, Pak Prabowo.
Thank you, Mr. Prabowo.
Yang mulia,
Excellencies,
air adalah
water
sumber
is a
kehidupan.
source of life.
Air juga
Water is
merupakan
also
simbol
a symbol
keseimbangan dan
of balance
keharmonisan.
and harmony.
Namun, jika
Nevertheless,
tidak
if
dikelola dengan
water
baik,
is
air
not
juga
managed
dapat menjadi
properly, water
sumber
can become
bencana.
a source of disaster.
Dan dengan mengucap
And by
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim,
reciting Bismillahirrahmanirrahim,
Forum Air
the
Sedunia ke-10
10th
secara
World Water
resmi
Forum
saya
I
nyatakan
hereby
dibuka.
officially
Terima
declare
kasih.
open. Thank you.
And now, accompanied by Mr. Luel Fasong, His Excellency Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, Her Excellency Mrs. Retno Marsudi, and His Excellency Mr. Basuki Hadi Mulyono, we invite to the stage to finally opening the 10th World Water Forum. By the count of 3, 2, 1.
Harnessing the power as one for the brightest smile on every face, for the future of our home. Welcome to the 10th World Water Forum 2024. Water for shared prosperity.
Thank you, Excellencies. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed the opening ceremony of the 10th World Water Forum 2024. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the departure of the leaders. We cordially invite the head of states and or governments as well as ministers participating at the high-level meeting to proceed to Nusantara Ballroom. The meeting will be preceded by photo sessions at the foyer of Nusantara Room. Once again, we cordially invite the head of states and or governments as well as ministers participating at the high-level meeting to proceed to Nusantara Ballroom. The meeting will be preceded by photo sessions at the foyer of Nusantara Room. Once again, thank you for your unwavering support for the 10th World Water Forum 2024. Have a wonderful day ahead in Indonesia.
Dan saudara, demikian tadi pembukaan World Water Forum ke-10 di Bali, di mana tadi juga kita mendengarkan pidato dari Presiden Republik Indonesia Joko Widodo, kemudian Louis Fassong, Presiden World Water Council, dan Elon Musk juga King Hassan tuh. Dan diharapkan nantinya di agenda World Water Forum ke-10 ini bisa menghasilkan komitmen politik untuk perbaikan pengelolaan air dan akses yang lebih mudah terhadap air serta sanitasi di seluruh dunia. Dan di mana WWF ke-10 ini nantinya akan menghasilkan dokumen politik yang menjadi referensi bagi pembuat kebijakan dan anggota parlemen dalam merumuskan solusi. Dan tadi secara resmi dibuka, selanjutnya akan dilanjutkan dengan rangkaian acara 10 World Water Forum di Bali 2024 lainnya. Demikian saudara, selamat pagi dan sampai jumpa.
Dari tubuh ini, kita mengenang perjuangan para pahlawan. Semangat mereka adalah inspirasi untuk terus maju.
Di sini kita belajar dari masa lalu. Setiap langkah mereka adalah pelajaran yang berharga bagi kita.
Dengan semangat yang sama,